Hello and welcome to Channel's Book Club. I am Olakunle Kasumo. Now, here is a book we once introduced to you, Disowned, written by Nina Anyianuka, a creative director, TV producer, actress, as well as, well, first-time author now. Nina's book is a collection of 5 short stories about 5 abused Nigerian women and girls. It's a very moving, spellbinding, and at times heart-rending book that will leave you wondering if you just read fiction or non-fiction. We promise to host Nina here on this show sometime soon, and this is when we fulfill that promise. Enjoy our chat with her. Nina, nice to have you on Channel's Book Club.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Disowned. A collection of short stories.
Absolutely.
I read the story titled Disowned, which is the title of the book, and I was really moved.
Oh, wow.
Really moved. And I heard RMD saying his was beyond being moved. He was actually crying.
He cried. A lot of people cry. I don't get why they cry. I'm actually quite honored and humbled when they cry. My sister cried. My big brother cried. My best friend cries, you know. So, yeah.
And at your event, I saw people crying.
People cry. I cried as well at the event. But for me, it wasn't the book that made me cry. It was the recollection of the stories I heard. I actually carry a bit of guilt, you know, around because in the course of my journey to Disowned, I met a lot of young people, children who were sexually violated, abused, molested, and all kinds of things. And I remember making a vow to them and to myself that I was going to help them. I was going to do something to them and for them. But by the time I finished writing the book, I got engrossed in my own life and things that were going on with me. And by the time I went back there, the home wasn't there anymore. I kept trying to find the lady who had the home where I met them, and till today I can't find her. I don't know what happened to them. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know if they went back to being sexually violated and molested. It's that burden that makes me sad every time, you know, I think about it.
Incredible. I'll come back to that, but just to put this within context for viewers out there who might not have an idea what this book is about, let's do a summary of Disowned.
The book is actually a collection of short stories that tells in graphic details, you've read it, very graphic details, the stories of women who have had to deal with everyday life issues, from sexual molestation and violence to rape to prostitution, widowhood, all kinds of drama. These are everyday realities as we speak, like I say.
Let's look at, you've got here Nina's Loss, Daddy's Little Girl, Disowned, Blackie's Mission, Two of a Kind. 2 questions. Why did you pick Disowned as the title of this book? And of these 5 stories, which one is closest to your heart?
Okay, now let me quickly say this. You've just asked the coolest question ever about this book. Nobody has ever asked me that. Why did I pick Disowned as the title? Brilliant. Because Disowned was meant to be a book. The book was supposed to be disowned. But the more I wrote, the more I talked about different women. So I had to step back and begin to characterize each woman. So it's not one woman's story. She can't go through sexual abuse and rape, prostitution, widowhood, and all the things the other women went through. This was supposed to be one book, one novel, Disowned. So you're the only one. This is the first time I'm actually saying this out loud because nobody has ever asked me that question. So yay! So that's why Disowned is the book title, and it's actually a really catchy
Yeah, it's a catchy title.
Yes, because
Disowned.
people always like Disowned. What is it about?
Yeah.
Then, which is my favorite story, which is closest to my heart? It's like telling a mother to pick one child.
To pick one child.
They are all very close to my heart. See what keeps happening to me. So I wake up in the morning and I think, I dream Blackie's mission. And I think, yes, that's the story. That's my story. Then I remember Two of a Kind. Guys, you need to read Two of a Kind. It is mind-blowing. It's one of the it's one of the least mentioned and appreciated. I read it recently. So every time I think about it, I can't really pick because all of them are terribly horrible.
Okay, let me rephrase. Maybe this might make it a bit easier for you. If I had a lot of money now and I wanted to convert one of these 5 stories into a movie, which would you pick?
Blackie's Mission or Two of a Kind. Okay. One of those two, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
I love Disowned. I love Disowned because it took me back. You know,
my favorite, by the way.
Yeah, your favorite. I called my mother a lot. I'll call my mom and say, "Mommy, what's that chewing gum?" And she will say, "Bazooka Joe." And I'm like, "Mommy, your 504, describe it." So I wanted to, you know, what other cars? And she'll say there was 404. And so I did a lot of talking to my mother when I wrote Disowned. So there's something about Disowned, I love it. But if I was going to do a compelling movie that would shake the world and shake people, it would be Blackie's Mission or Two of a Kind.
Two of a Kind.
Because the stories are horrible.